Pro Tem Wiggins.
Here.
Councilmember Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Wallstrom.
Here.
And Councilmember Headley.
Here.
Everyone is present. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to have the invocation. After the invocation, the pledge to the flag. Please stand at this time for the invocation. And Mark Bixler, the minister of the Church of Christ, is going to lead us in the invocation.
Our Father, we thank you so much for the privilege of living in this time and in this country and in this city. We pray, Father, that we will not take things for granted as we so often do, and that we will appreciate the privilege of serving others in this city as well. We pray, Father, that your blessing on this meeting tonight, and that all will be aware that we are here to help and not to hurt, and to heal and not to stand by and watch others suffer. We pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag. Ready, begin.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. If you see a little, some of us sniffing our nose a little bit, and with gravelly voices, that's because half of us up here have been sick, so for the last 2 weeks, and he's getting away from me.
Dennis, how you been?
I've been great, Phil. I think I'm over it now. Aren't you, Ken?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. So,
I've been always well.
all right, let's get to the consent agenda. All items listed with an asterisk are considered to be routine and non-controversial by city staff. Consent items will be considered first and may be approved by one motion if no member of the council or audience wishes to comment or ask questions. If comment or discussion is desired by anyone, the item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered in listed sequence with an opportunity for any member of the public to address the city council concerning the item before action is taken. At this time, is there anyone in the audience that wishes to remove a consent agenda item? Seeing none, council? Do I have a motion?
Motion. I'll second.
A motion? Did you second? Oh, okay. A motion and a second?
I second.
Okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have to do a roll call vote, don't we?
No.
Because we're,
If it's unanimous.
just announce it. Okay. Let the record show that it is 5-0 aye. Okay. Okay, written communications, public statements. The City Council welcomes public comments on any items within the subject matter jurisdiction of the Council. We respectfully request that this public forum be utilized in a positive and constructive manner. Persons addressing the Council should first state their name and area of residence, the matter of city business to be discussed, and the organization of persons represented, if any. To ensure accuracy in the minutes, please fill out a speaker's card at the podium. Please keep in mind that you have 3 minutes to make your presentation. At this time, is there anyone in the audience that wishes to make a public comment?
My name is Carl Garrick. I live and work in the city of Tehachapi. I come here to eat some crow. A number of months ago, I talked bad about this. Because of some medical problems, I wasn't able to come. I'm going to tell you something. Thank you, partner, because without that, I was able to attend city council meetings over that. So I come here to eat some crow, man. You know, what can I say? You did a good job, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Any other public comments at this time? Seeing none, let's move on. Item number 2, badge penning of Police Lieutenant Liska.
So we brought Lieutenant Timothy Liska over, our new lieutenant. We'll do a swearing in Corey will do the swearing in, and his wife Marlia is going to do the baptism. You keep right there in front of the flag. It's the best spot to use.
Okay. Okay, I'll just read this and then you just say yes or no.
Okay, go ahead, raise my hand.
You can raise your hand, yes. I, Timothy Liska, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
I do a yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, both look this way.
Thanks, sir.
For those of you who don't know Lieutenant Liska, he comes to us from Kern County Sheriff's Department, over 26 years there. He is a Tehachapian. He is intimately familiar with our community, and he's been here for a little over a month now and just doing a fantastic job. So we're really blessed to have him here, and I couldn't be more excited to have him as part of our team. So
Thank you, Chief.
welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay, our next order of business is item number 4. Council will consider the appointment of a new city treasurer. The appointment will expire in November 2018. Following the general municipal election, 4 applications were received from the following individuals: Stacy Curry, Denise Jones, Kim Nixon, and Susan Scholler. At this point in time, the council is asked to appoint a city treasurer.
As you saw, we had 4 applications. We do have the applicants here, so if you have any questions for them, feel free. They can come up and answer anything you'd like to ask.
Okay, you want to hear from them?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's ask Stacy Curry to come up.
Hi, my name is Stacy Curry, and I'm a resident and business owner in the city of Tehachapi. After many years of volunteering with different organizations for my kids, I'm looking for an opportunity to be involved with my community. So thank you for your consideration for the appointment of city treasurer.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you.
Denise?
Hello, my name is Denise Jones, and I work for the city of Tehachapi, and I've worked there for almost 11 years now. I previously was the city clerk, and I resigned my position to go back to school. And although I'm still attending school, I find that I do have some time to give back to the community, and that's why I put in my application for city treasurer.
Any questions? Thank you. Kim Nixon?
Oh, this isn't fair.
Yeah, sorry. Babysitting.
Kissing babies.
Hi, I'm Kim Nixon, and as you all know, I've lived in Tehachapi since 1986. And shortly thereafter, I got on the planning commission, served on the planning commission for a total of 13 and a half years. Was a city council member for 5.5 years. And I've been involved with many nonprofits, served in a financial area there, and my husband and I own 4 businesses, and I've been the chief financial officer of those businesses for the past 40 years. So I would be more than happy to be able to serve as city treasurer and give back to the community again.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? I do. What's the baby's name?
This is Emerson. Her mom is coaching JV soccer at the high school tonight,
Okay,
so
okay.
I'm babysitting.
Well, she's a former, she's going to be a warriorette then.
She is.
That's good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Susan?
I'm Susan Scholler. I'm a city resident. I am the current treasurer for the Tourism Commission, so I understand what the responsibilities of the position would be. But beyond that, I also understand the responsibility we have to the citizens of our wonderful community. I understand the importance of communication and transparency, because at the end of the day, we serve them. And I've had some amazing opportunities volunteering in the city, and I absolutely love everything about this community. So I would be honored if I was appointed the city treasurer. Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, well, thank you very much. It sounds like we have 4 really good people that want to be treasurer. We don't often get that, but tonight it sounds like we've got 4 really good ones. So this is going to be probably a hard decision.
Yes.
So do I have nominations?
I'll nominate Denise Jones.
Okay. I don't have to have a second, do I?
No, not for
Okay.
nominations. just-
Any other nominations?
I'll nominate Susan Schuler. Scholler? I never say your name right, I apologize.
Sure. Okay. Any other nominations? Okay, we'll vote now on the 2 nominations. The first one, Denise. All those in favor of her signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, 2 votes. For Susan Scholler, what's your pleasure?
This is really hard, because I know most of you, but maybe it's going to be good to have someone on here that we haven't seen or heard in the community. A fresh voice might be nice. So,
Hallelujah.
so no offense to all of the rest. So I will vote for Susan Scholler.
Mhm. Yes?
Yes,
Yes?
and I will too. So that's a three votes that you need. So it looks at this time that you are the appointee, and thank you very much.
Careful what you wish for. But congratulations.
Okay, item number 8, public hearing for the Community Development Block Grant Priority Project for fiscal years 2018 and 2019, 2019 and 2020, 2020 and 2021 for the north side sidewalk H Street to I Street. At this time, I'm going to open the hearing. Notice of public hearing, and is there any correspondence?
No correspondence.
No correspondence. Staff report.
Honorable Mayor and council members, the item before you tonight, as you may recall, back in, I want to say about July of last year, I brought to you guys the 3-year cooperative agreement between the city of Tehachapi and the county of Kern. This is on wheels, sorry. To re-up our agreement with the CDBG, with Kern County for the CDBG program, the Community Development Block Grant Program, which is a national program. Grant funding, and as a reminder, these are funds for infrastructure and other programs directed at low-income neighborhoods. And the city sort of has one area in town that qualifies for funding, which is both a good and a bad problem. It's a good problem because we don't have a lot of areas in town that qualify as low income according to their metrics. But the downside being we don't get that much money. But I think that's a good thing nonetheless. Anyway, we receive in allocation approximately $55,000 a year. That's about the same as it's been the last few cycles that we've done this, maybe a little lower, which is a good indication for the trajectory of our community. Anyway, and what we've done in the past, because it's kind of hard to execute a capital project with $50,000 by the time you do the engineering and the management at the end, that's most of that. CDBG, Kern County allows us to save up to 3 years and allocate that towards a project. So when we select a project, we are required to have a public hearing as part of their procedures in which we listen to ideas from the community related to projected projects that they suggest within the confines of the boundaries of the program. And then ultimately you as the council need to select the project. So staff does, as traditional, provide a project for you all to consider or for the public to consider. And so myself and my staff sat down and took a look at the area. Just as a reminder, that the area that qualifies it, you must spend the dollars within the qualified CDBG area. And that area is largely the portion of the residential community north of the railroad tracks and south of Highway 58. The area kind of bubbles out in a few places, but that's the easiest way for me to describe it for you all. And in the past, we've spent funds there for a number of cycles. Most recently, the Northside Sidewalks project, which is nearing completion, which you all hopefully have seen on Green Street and H Street, where we placed a new sidewalk, which I think achieved the goal of the project, which is to enhance the look and feel of that neighborhood, as well as to provide that additional amenity to the folks that live there. So, continuing on those lines. Staff's suggested project is to continue down that road with additional sidewalks there. Just so you guys know, from a staff perspective too, that CDBG has quite a few rules when it comes to how we execute projects, almost more than Caltrans, whom we deal with a lot. And so complex projects are extremely difficult for us to execute within the boundaries of the funds that we receive. And so a project like a sidewalk project is something where we can get good bang for our buck, and that's the reason we push those projects forward to you all. So the proposed project that I'm suggesting for you tonight is effectively a continuation of the Northside Sidewalks project, and I think I titled it. I'm looking for the title I gave you. Don't criticize me for not being very creative, but it's the Northside Sidewalk H Street to I Street project. And I think I've got a diagram there. So that's the area included, and then I'm proposing those 3 blocks that I highlighted in blue to receive completed sidewalks on both sides of those streets. I believe we can do that for the total target budget of about $160,000. And so that's why I called it H Street to I Street. I kind of boundaried those two. So hopefully that makes some sense to you all and to the audience here. I believe that with the funds aggregated, which is about $166,000 is my estimate of what the funds will be, that we can construct approximately 1,000 lineal feet of sidewalk to city standard, which in this case ends up being about 3 city blocks. So specifically that's North Robinson, North Mojave, and North Davis streets between H and I Street. So my recommendation then is that the City Council adopt the resolution included herein as attachment A in selecting the North Side Sidewalk H Street to I Street project as the priority project for fiscal year 1819 CDBG allocation, and request the advancement of unprogrammed CDBG funds for fiscal years 1920 and 2021 towards this effort. That's my presentation.
Okay. At this time, is there any comment from the public regarding this particular project? Seeing none, I'm going to close the hearing. The recommendation is to adopt a resolution to cooperate with the County of Kern in the development of the consolidated plan for community development programs for fiscal year 2018 and 19, 2020 to 21, right?
3 years. Yep.
Okay. Any questions from the council?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. I just have a very quick statement. I find that there's a very peculiar irony that we're taking 3 years worth of grant monies that we had available, similar to what we had at the airport. The airport funds to the tune of $150,000 per year times 3 were given away to Inyo County, to the Bishop Airport. And I just find that that's it's unfortunate that we gave that away because we couldn't come up with a project that was acceptable to the FAA. Yet we can take 3 years worth of allocations for this particular money and come up with a sidewalk plan. And there's just a little bit of a peculiar irony. Again, this is a statement. I don't need any response from anybody, but I find it peculiar that we can do it for sidewalks when we can't do it for significant infrastructure like the airport in our community. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Any other comments?
I have a question. We're gonna also install curb and gutter?
No, the sections I've selected, if you were to go, already have curb and gutter in almost every, I think the whole thing. I don't think there's it. We did do some sidewalk replacement on Green and H, but that wasn't missing sections, that was deteriorated sections. But these 3 streets are pretty ready to receive sidewalk.
Yep.
Any other questions?
Just a comment, I think it's a good project for the area. the neighborhood is very deserving of having sidewalks to walk on for the residents. And I would make a motion on staff's recommendation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the item as discussed. My only comment is, I think it's well deserved for that particular part of the community who has been underserved in the past, and we're trying to rectify a lot of things because that's across the tracks. And you know, they've got what they call a pocket park now, which is a good thing, and you know, I know the people in that neighborhood appreciate everything that we're doing for them. So with that said, I have a motion and a second on the item as discussed. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed? Motion carried. Let the record show that it is 5-0 ayes.
Thank you.
Police chief.
Good evening, Mayor.
Item number 11.
Council members. The item I have this evening is a memorandum of understanding between the Tehachapi Police Department and Current Behavioral Health and Recovery Services for the implementation of the Smart 911 Special Needs Registry. For background on this, often individuals experiencing a mental health emergency come to the attention of law enforcement or emergency medical service responders following a call to 911. First response staff are typically provided only that information which can be gathered over the phone by the dispatcher. During those crises, those experiencing a mental health emergency may not be able to fully articulate symptoms and other pertinent information. The lack of information about mental health conditions, supports, and effective interventions contribute to decisions to use force, arrest, incarcerate, or hospitalize rather than de-escalate and redirect to sustain outpatient mental health care. This leads to costly arrests, hospitalizations, and sometimes injuries to the mentally ill person and/or first responders. By creating a special needs registry, emergency responders can be privy to vital information regarding mental health symptoms, interventions, medications, and plans as they arrive in order to provide more appropriate services. Rave Mobile Safety Incorporated has created Smart 911, a program which allows web users the ability to create a password-protected special needs registry free of charge to the user. The registry itself is accessed via smart911.com. During calls to 911 from registered users, public safety entities that purchase and install the Smart 911 software are able to view the user-provided information on demand for a period of 45 minutes, allowing dispatchers and first responders access to critical information while also protecting the privacy of that information. Kern County residents, including Kern Behavioral Health and Recovery Service clients, will have the opportunity to create a secure, password-protected special needs registry on the Smart 911 website. Kern Behavioral Health clients will be encouraged to register and will be offered assistance from treatment staff. Registration will be available on personal devices, computers, tablets, and smartphones, and in kiosks to be placed at each Kern Behavioral Health treatment location. Information entered into the Smart 911 database is only accessible to an emergency dispatcher and only when a registered user dials 911 from a phone number in the user's Smart 911 profile. Clients may enter details which include mental health conditions, medications, medical needs, and mobility issues, crisis interventions from the crisis treatment plan, and other information which can assist in the event of a mental health or non-mental health related emergency. As part of the project, emergency dispatch centers throughout Kern County will be provided Smart 911 software, allowing them to receive registry information when a call is placed. Because the registry is created by the client, only information which is shared voluntarily is released. The client creates their own profile, username, and password, and may manage their online account at will. With assistance from Kern Behavioral Health recovery specialists, they may choose to include information from crisis plans, but Kern Behavioral Health will not provide information to Smart 911 or emergency dispatch centers as a result of the innovative program. Emergency responders will, however, have the ability to share vital information when providing emergency service, allowing for better interagency collaboration between fire, police, and other public safety entities. This system is being provided to us by Current Behavioral Health and Recovery Services. They will provide all funding associated with the implementation of the Smart 911 Special Needs Registry. They will fund all of the software licenses for use by the Tehachapi Police Department and our public safety answering point or access point. And they have prepaid RAID mobile safety for Smart 911 software licensing, training, and support for 5 years ending in June 30th, 2022. They will also reimburse the Tehachapi Police Department for hardware as needed for use by TPD in the implementation of the system, including any servers, physical or virtual, cables, converters, and splitters. So I kind of threw a lot at you right there, so if you have any questions, between myself and our lead dispatcher, Matt Murphy, we can probably answer any questions you have regarding this new system.
Any questions from the audience? Council.
I do have a question, Mr. Mayor, but I'd like to open it up to anybody else that would like to go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, does the county have this already, or?
The county, I believe, just went live last week, Matt?
Yes.
Yes, Kern County just went live last week, and the objective here is to get all Kern County public safety access points with this hardware or software in place so that we all have it.
Okay, that was my follow-on question. So Kern County Fire will be up to speed of what this is, and all ambulance?
Absolutely.
And then, okay, I think it's going to be a very good program, very good benefit to those who voluntarily want to use it.
Correct.
So I would assume family members of someone in this who needs this will be able to sign up for it on behalf of their family, or is there a legal issue that?
Matt, you want to come forward and answer that family?
Yeah.
The family
Do they have to
piece?
have power of attorney to do it for a family member, or, you know?
Great question.
You know,
Actually, Kern County Fire Department is actually the only agency that is not going live with Smart 911 yet this year, for various reasons on their end. However, the goal is, like the chief said, for all law enforcement agencies in Kern County to be live with Smart 911 in the next few months.
Okay.
So your question was how to get the entire family on board on
Does
the same account?
the family member have the ability to register their significant other or a loved one that may
Or a child,
have some
or
mental health?
someone in the family?
Yeah, so you can enroll your entire family under the same account. It is phone number based, how we get it on our end. So you can upload all of your family's information, your children, even your pets, on your own profile and have it be linked across your entire household. The idea is to get it per household, not necessarily per member in the community. So the idea is to have your entire household uploaded into the your Smart 911 profile.
Well, you threw me a curve when you said pets.
Yes. So some people have pets, that we don't have knowledge about when we're responding to a 911 call. So having that information available to us can help first responders.
Oh, I see. So we have a service animal that's going to be greeting you with this person or something like that. Okay.
Exactly.
Now that makes sense.
Yeah, or guard dog. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Well, the system's definitely geared towards mental health issues. It's definitely open for other opportunities to provide information that law enforcement may need when they arrive at a location, whether it's access codes, gate codes, whatever, that type of information. It's being marketed, and we're utilizing it more for the behavioral health piece of it, but there are other options and ability to use it for other things as well.
Well, that was another item I was going to bring up. This is for a known issue with an individual. I would like to have my issue known to the police department if I have something, or a family member.
Mm-hmm.
I know in Bakersfield a few years ago, there was a doctor who had a stroke, and it was presumed he was,
I was just thinking of that.
The police department
Drunk.
thought he was drunk, or the way he was acting, and they lost a lot of time. So this would not necessarily address that, but does our police department have the training to ascertain those kind of situations to get help?
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely. And we have the training to deal with those medical type emergencies and make a determination if there's a medical need. More often in those situations, we also have fire and paramedics responding with us.
Right.
But this, I think, gives us another tool that we could possibly have that information readily available to us before we even arrive at the scene. We
So
know there's an issue.
if someone had a relative who's had a stroke and could have another one, that might be not a mental health issue, but it could be a medical issue that they could register that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah, prescriptions, etc.
that's a good one too.
And if you have a
Prescription.
caregiver, your caregiver can upload that information on your behalf, and that's a little option, a little ticker to check on your profile.
Sure.
That you're the caregiver for.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. You know, unfortunately, our country, we've got this stigma of mental health issues that we move people around, we don't address certain problems that certain individuals may have when it comes to mental health. You folks, unfortunately, in law enforcement are put at a tremendous disadvantage going out to a call when you don't know what the situation is. It could be something that could be manageable when you get there. The other side could be something a whole lot worse. My only concern with something like this is it is purely voluntary, and it's going to take the action of either family members or the individuals themselves to sign up. Do you have any information on how successful Bakersfield was on getting folks that had a condition to actually sign up for the system and make them known? And is it working for them on the voluntary basis?
I can't really speak on, currently, this was just launched countywide as early as last week. However, this is a national project, Smart 911, and there is tons of statistics on their website. They have talked about tons of research stories that they have, like success stories that have proven their system. Now, agencies do go out, they have staff that will go out and have open events at libraries and community locations, elderly facility homes, to get all these people enrolled and inform them more about how the system is used and its intentions of the system and how it could help them in an emergency situation. But as far as our successes go, I think it's a little too early for, as far as the countywide, I think it's too early, but nationally it's proven its success many a times.
And one of our obligations under this MOU with Kern Behavioral Health is to provide bi-weekly updates as far as what the successes we're seeing with the system, any problems that we're seeing with the system. So, I mean, undoubtedly within any type of new system like this, you're going to have some bugs to work out, some issues to work out, you know, policy related and everything else. But I think that's, you know, that's where we're at in this process right now. And as we move forward, we can address those things. And you know, we're planning to market it here locally and get it out there. And hopefully, you know, we, as you stated, I believe we're in a mental health crisis here in the United States, and I think that, you know, the more information that we can get out there that can help us in responding to those situations, the better off we'll be.
Great, thanks. Councilman Smith, I think it was a fantastic point with regards to medical issues. You know, having that ability, if somebody has had a previous a medical issue, just having that logged into a system to where you, being the first guy knocking on the door, would have a little more insight to the situation. So I think it's a great program. I hope we can get the community involvement for the folks that can benefit from this, and I think it's good. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, thank you. I think it's going to be a great program, but I think it's going to have to be marketed. You know, I think people are going to have to be informed. I look to the newspapers to help with that issue because I think you know, not everybody is going to know about it, and as people become more informed, they can make that decision to get involved. But it's kind of like you know, everybody has an opportunity to get the flu shot, but they don't do it. You know, I didn't do it, and I got the flu. So you know, I think as people become more informed, they're going to want to get involved, especially those that have loved ones that have mental issues. And you know, I think that's a good thing. I think also it probably lessens our liability in terms of a government agency, because we are involved. So, anybody else have anything? Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to play the devil's advocate here for a little bit. a lot of people that have mental issues can be temporary, like divorce, death in a family, temporary substance abuse that they went to rehab and they're cured for. How do you opt out of this?
Well, it's completely up to you when you want to delete your profile. So it's voluntary. You can sign up at any time and delete your profile anytime. It's totally up to you. You have control of your entire household. If you want to take care, if you want to delete all of your entire household data, you can. If you just want to take care of your profile, you can. Furthermore, if your profile isn't updated or at least visited within the 6-month period, you will receive an email, or your household will receive an email to go into your profile and at least refresh the page or update something so the profile doesn't go inactive. If your profile goes inactive, we won't receive that information on the 911 side. So, but it's completely up to you as far as when you want to delete your.
And would something like this stay on your record? There's certain rights that you have, and there's certain rights of people that have claimed mental issue problems that never get back.
But I think it's important to note that this database isn't something that we have the ability to just go in and look at to see what information is in there. The only way we're going to be privy to this information is on the 911 call. When the 911 call comes in, it's generated and it comes to our computer-aided dispatch screen. That information is only there for a period of 45 minutes, and then it's gone, and it's no longer accessible to us. So it's not that we have this database of all of this information that we have the ability to mine into and look at who has mental issues within the community. We're only responding, and it only comes to our attention through the 911 call, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I understand that, and I understand it when you first said it, but since it is a database, and databases can work good and bad for you, it's good that we have a national database, and I'm figuring this is probably going to go that way. But we might only see it for 45 minutes, but who else sees it for 45 years?
No one sees it for 45 years. Again, it's only comes up and comes to the attention of first responders when that 911 call comes in, correct?
Right, yeah. That's on our end anyway, that's.
So it's a temporary database that's deleted after, what did you say, 45 days or?
45 minutes.
45 minutes it goes away.
No,
6 months.
6 months, yeah.
Yeah.
That's deleted everywhere.
Yes, correct. The Rave Mobile Safety, who holds the database, it's their database. Their terms, according to their terms and conditions, when you consent to sign up to the program, part of their terms and conditions are, hey, we're going to give you a courtesy notice by email to update your profile. If you don't, we're going to inactivate your profile. Just so we're not receiving inaccurate information when you do call 911.
And
It's like a safeguard.
the county's funding this?
Yes.
Who funds the county for it? That's kind of where I'm going.
It was grant money, is my understanding, that Kern Behavioral Health received for this system. And they're funding it for the county for a period of 5 years.
And that information goes nowhere else?
Nowhere else on our end?
Outside of the software people, Kern County, whatever. Or the people that are given the Kern County, was it a grant to the county?
Yes.
From the state or from?
I'm not certain on the grant particulars, but they were the applicant of the grant, and they were relinquishing the Rave 911 access to all Kern County PSAPs. So as far as the PSAPs are concerned, here Tehachapi PD, we only have access to that when they call 911. So as far as the Rave Mobile Safety and their employees and other people who have access to Rave's data, I'm uncertain. But I don't know who else can see that, who has access to it, but 911 operators, simply put, cannot see data past 45 minutes.
Sure, and that's a great thing. It's a great thing for us. It's a great thing for any community. But it may not be a great thing for whatever powers or whatever grants those grants, because that may never go away.
I have a comment. You take public comments.
Not yet.
Shall I stand?
Yeah.
That's all I'm asking is, since it's only.
All this information too, sir, is all for all parties involved. It's all subject to the HIPAA and high-tech compliance as far as the release of this information and who's able to see it. So there's some pretty strict guidelines on who can view this information, so, and how it gets out. So, you know, I'm confident that Kern Behavioral Health and County Council with Kern County have really looked into this thoroughly, and that I'm satisfied that these records aren't just going to be floating around for anyone to see. That it's just it's for law enforcement use to improve our response to these mental health
Yeah, I
crises.
get that, and that's a great thing, you know. And you guys need that. You need to know what you're walking into.
Just one question here.
Yes, Law Professor Barbara Reynolds, Tehachapi resident, 44 years. I like the idea, Chief. I think it's excellent. I think it's going to save lives. HIPAA disclosures are in place for a purpose. You can go to state prison for violating HIPAA rules regarding people's health and private information, their confidential information. Also, I think what may not have been broached is the question of the Kern County Superior Courts and the probate division, the conservatorship issue. There are a lot of conservatorships that go through the courts. I know that because I handle conservatorships. And these people need to be protected as well. They're under conservatorships for a purpose because there is an incapacity. So you might want to think about in terms of circling the wagons of persons and protected persons that need to be under this rubric of this, what I think is a great idea. You might want to approach the courts regarding that also. It's at least the executive officer of the court, Terry McNally, and perhaps the presiding judge. I think it's an outstanding idea.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay. Do I have a motion to adopt a resolution approving the memorandum of understanding by and between the Kern County Behavioral Health and Recovery Services Department and the Tehachapi Police Department, and authorizing the city's chief of police to execute same?
So move.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second on the item as discussed. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Let the record show that it is 5-0 aye. City manager report.
Thank you, Mayor Graham. Just one thing, I want to thank our lieutenant. Did he sneak out already? Yeah. He's probably working. That's what he does, right? I want to thank him for joining our team and welcome him to the city of Tehachapi. Thank you.
Is that all you have? Okay. The council member reports. Dennis?
None.
Nothing this evening.
Negative.
Oh, no, I ain't saying nothing. Okay, and I have nothing. So we're going to adjourn to February 5th, which is our next meeting, and that will be at the school district office.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.